Shri Sai Ram, offering my most humble salutation. Pranams to our dear Swami, respected elders, dear brothers and sisters, loving Sai Ram. Come to think of it, the most momentous occasion that we've all been waiting for years is finally here. The 100th birthday of a divine incarnation. It seems like just another Sunday if you don't think of it. Sit with that thought and reflect. But if we do, how many lifetimes of blessings that we must have had to be present, to be fortunate, to be part of an organization, a mission that has been started by the divine avatar, and us being part of it, and us being able to be present, alive and kicking, to be able to celebrate the advent of an avatar and the 100th centenary celebrations of such an avatar. That in itself deserves a pat on everyone's back. Take a moment to reflect on our blessings. How many people that have walked on planet Earth can boast of being present, being able to participate, being able to think about, reminisce, stories, thoughts, being part of a mission that has been started by a divine avatar. And that fortune has been bestowed upon us today. If you think of our Swami in particular, the Swami says, don't try to understand me, because that will take you many lifetimes, but rather enjoy the avatar. We've all been enjoying it for a long time. But if you really reflect deeply on Swami's message, on Swami's life, one thing that I reflect deeply upon is the channels of communication that our Swami has opened, which is so unlike any other avatar in the past. If you really think of it, there were occasions where Swami had picked up a phone call and had conversed with the devotee. All of us know about the letters that were written to Swami that Swami had written. There is no instance of Swami writing an email, but I'm sure some messages were communicated to Swami that devotees received around. On top of all of that, there were the dreams that Swami would come in, there were messages that Swami would send to us, to others. There were instances of Swami's presence that you feel. Channels of communication that our Swami has opened for us to reach out to him is unmatched and has never been heard of in any other incarnation past. To top all of them were the divine discourses. There's again not been on record of another avatar that has taken time and again, put it on a schedule, go up on the stage at a podium and gave message after message for nearly 7 decades of Swami's physical form. And they all followed a beautiful pattern. Swami would start off with a poem. He would start slow and then he would be instructional at times. He would tell us about stories about his own life, about previous avatars and messages from him, depending on the occasion that we were at. Swami would cap it off with the bhajan. Go back and read history. You will not find another avatar that has really taken time. There was a time, approximately in the late 90s, Swami was asked to give a discourse, the Swami said, I will not speak. And of course, the students and the teachers would request Swami, Swami, please, we want to listen to you. Swami says, I've been saying the same thing for the last many years. How many of you have taken anything to heart? Really practice them, but I need to say it again. Loving Swami that Swami was, and Swami started to speak once again after that. But the messages that Swami was giving to us time and again had few underlying themes. In Swami's own words, I'm not saying anything new, I'm repeating myself, Swami said. They all cornered on the 5 themes that Swami wanted to focus on: Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa. Again, Swami knew that if you give us 5, you confuse the problem, not pick up on it. Then Swami made it further easier to pick up on Prema, that's enough. Everything else will follow. The messages that Swami had given, so subtle, so simple, so instructional, as though he was holding our hand and walking us all through. One particular, and every one of them had neatly poems. Sometimes Swami would quote from scriptures, from Vedas, sometimes Swami would compose, give us his own words. One particular poem that has really sat with me very strongly time and again. I think it is instructional in its own way, it is a message in its own way. That is Swami's philosophy as avatar, this particular avatar. It's a poem in Telugu, I'll chant it and then we will reflect on it deeply. Swami says, Pattina dedo pattane pattitini. Those of you that can understand Telugu, it's music to your ears. Swami says, Pattina dedo pattane pattitini pattu negedidaka. Having held on to whatever it is that you have held on, you did not even qualify, hold on to something that is good. So having held on to whatever it is that you have held on to, hold on till it is happening. Having desired whatever you have desired, hold on until that desire is fulfilled. Having asked whatever you have asked for until it is being granted, until it is being given to you, hold on. There comes the kicker. Swami says, Poru padaleka tanaina bro baliyu. The literal meaning of that is out of disgust. You've been pestering so much that out of disgust, I should give you whatever you have asked. You could not hold on anymore. Your body gave up, so you lost consciousness, so you were not able to ask anymore. These should be the only 2 outcomes. That out of disgust of your pestering, I give you whatever you ask for, or you are not able to ask. But it is not the hallmark of a devotee to walk back, having started the journey to ask or desire. Which other God, which other avatar had made himself so vulnerable in the past than our loving Swami, where he declared, ask whatever. I know some of you are getting ideas now. Ask whatever, just for your persistence, I will reward you. Purely because you stuck. It's not a noble thought, it's not a noble desire, but for the fact that you've stuck to me, have really been persistent in your desire. Just like all of you, the very first time I heard this from Swami himself in 1998, I started to get ideas. It is Bhagavan who has declared that he will give whatever purely because you have stuck onto him. I am young. I have no agenda in life. I have nothing, no hurry to go anywhere. So I will ask some of the craziest things and let's see if he'll give it. Simplest qualification is to stick on, which I think I could do, was what I thought back then. But even as I was reflecting on that thought, I was thinking about, is this something unique to Swami? Has Swami done this in the past? Is this something every avatar has rewarded devotees purely for persistence? Or is it something that our Swami uniquely has declared that it's not happened before? So far only nobility has been rewarded, truth has been rewarded now. That Swami has opened up this new because he knew it was not what many noble things that Swami is asking us to do. And as I was thinking of this, and of course I should follow Swami's discourses and Swami's storytelling very closely, there are three stories that come. All three were shared by Swami, so it's worth reminiscing. If Swami has taken time to talk with about these stories, it's worth reminiscing these stories today. I'll present all three to you and let's tie it back to the promise Swami has made about persistence and about getting stuck in Swami. Let's go back all the way to Treta Yuga. All of us know the epic Ramayana, story of Rama. Prince Rama was to be coronated the next day. Circumstances led him to go to the forests. His brother Lakshmana would accompany him. His wife Sita would accompany him. They would go to the forests. In the forests, they were living a peaceful life. One evening, as Rama was resting, Lakshmana was staying guard, entered the sea. The game changer of the entire Ramayana story until then, a demon by name Surpanaka. The story exactly as shared by Swami. Surpanaka comes into the scene. She's a demon. She's a sister of Ravana. As Valmiki describes in Ramayana, Upsa Mohana Rupaya is what he said about Rama. Anyone would instantly fall in love with Rama as soon as they look at him. That is the majesty, that is the beauty Rama possessed. So demon Surpanaka smells her dinner. She thinks some humans are here and she would try to find out, and then she sees from a distance this beautiful and majestic form, Lord Rama. And the instant desire she had was that, what a majestic human, what a personality this one is turning out to be. Could I not wed someone like this? How beautiful it would be if he is my husband. Which is the thought that Surpanaka had planted in herself. And as a thought like that passed in her head, she instantly transformed herself, presents herself in front of Rama. And then Lakshmana sensed the desire that she has come with. And then instantly, we all know the story where he punishes her and sends her back. But the desire she has had to wed Rama was so strong in her. This is my inference, Swami didn't say this part. You do not almost hear about Surpanaka once again in the story of Ramayana after this. You would wonder what happened to her. The rest of the Ramayana story, you would not possibly hear the character Surpanaka once again in great way in any Ramayana story. Probably this is what happened. Surpanaka at that instance, having had that desire so strongly to wed Rama, was into rigorous penance. Who is the one who is instantly pleased whenever these demons are doing penance? Lord Shiva. So rigorous penance Surpanaka had done, and Lord Shiva appears in front of her and asks, Of course, this one did not forget, even after all the penance. So Surpanaka says, I would like to pray Lord. Lord Shiva is shocked. He says, that is not possible. He is none other than Lord Shri Mahavishnu himself. So ask for anything else. But there's nothing doing. You asked me for a boon, and here is what I'm asking for. Now you have. The Lord Shiva says, all right, it cannot happen now. Because he has come for a particular purpose. He has taken a few vows. One of them is Ekapatni Vrata, meaning one wife. So this is not possible in this avatar. Since you have desired and since I have given you some other time in the future. Fast forward to Dwapara Yuga. Almost ages past now. Lord Shri Krishna comes on the scene. Again, we know the story of Kamsa being his uncle, the evil one. He had a little ritual in his palace, King Kamsa, who also happened to be Krishna's uncle. So Krishna and Balarama were invited to the ritual in the palace of Kamsa. And by then, Kamsa had already sent the horrific demons and him to finish him off. So like the Putana, like the Kakataka, all of them were sent to finish Krishna, and Krishna eliminated all of them. And that story has spread far and wide. So when Krishna and Balarama were coming to the palace of Kamsa, the villages, the people in the kingdom knew that this is the boy, young boy, who had actually finished all of these demons. So they were very curious to see him. And everybody was lining up on the streets to see Lord Krishna and Balarama. And as they would come to the palace gates, there they find a lady by name Puja. Krishna asks her, getting down from the chariot, who are you? She responds, Trivikrayundiya. I'm a deformed individual. I have 3 bends in my body. And you call me beautiful. She responds to Krishna, Krishna, you are the majestic. You are the, I am not. People call me Trivakra because I am not pleasant to look at. And then Krishna asks, what do you do? Then she says, I'm a servant of Kamsa. And I'm a perfumer. I make these perfumes and pass them on to King Kamsa. Kamsa enjoys them. Krishna asks her, do you have any for me? And Puja gives her perfumes to Lord Krishna, but Krishna's turn now to give something to her. And as Swami narrates, Krishna then places his foot on her foot, and then with another hand puts her under the chin and lifts her straight. A little chiropractic adjustment done there. And she turns out to be, without deformities, a beautiful lady once again. Krishna says, are you happy? Puja says, no, Krishna, I am not. Because you made me beautiful now, but so far people have only known me as a Trivakra. So nobody would marry me. You have to also marry me now. Then Krishna marries Puja, as Bhagavatam says. Swami tells us Puja is none other than Surpanaka from Treta Yuga. Having desired whatever you have desired, if you hold on to the desire, I will reward you. This connection of these 2 stories you will not find anywhere except in Swami's Ramakadara Swami. I was having a conversation with Brother Kumar this morning. There are incidents that are in Swami's discourses, where the connection Swami has made to the epics that we all think we know that only Swami could narrate and only Swami could give us. Another beautiful story. These stories are worth reminiscing for the simple fact, for whatever they are, all that Swami has narrated them and led us to talk about. Another story comes to mind with the same idea, again back to Treta Yuga. These are subtle, simple side stories, so to say, from the main story of Ramayana, but so poignant in message that Swami would want us to think through, reflect upon. Mother Sita had been kidnapped or abducted from the Ashokovana, from the Varnashala in the forest by Ravana. She's carried all the way to Lanka, and in Lanka, Mother Sita is held captive in the Ashokovana, literally meaning the Ashoka Garden. There, Ravana would appoint a few demon guards to care for Mother Sita. Among the guards is one of them by name Trijata. So we're talking of a demon who is like a soldier in Ravana's camp, who is now given the responsibility to care for Sita while she was in camp. There were many others, including Trijata. This particular demon, Trijata, is slightly unlike the other demons. She had a soft heart. She was caring for Sita more sincerely. And in the process of spending time with Mother Sita over a period of time, she started to inquire about her life story. And in the story, she comes to know that there is this personality called Rama that happens to be her husband, who is very noble, who is very handsome, who is the prince of Ayodhya, who left the kingdom purely because his father had given a word to his wife. So all of this, as Dvijata was learning about Prince Rama, she started to become more and more curious about this personality. And soon enough, Rama comes to the shores of the ocean. The word is spread in Lanka that he would any day declare war on Ravana and Lanka, conquer. So Trijata started to inquire a little bit more about how he would look, what he do, what is he saying, when is he coming, more than anyone else, more than Ravana himself. Trijata became more curious to see Rama one day. And she desires that if Sita, despite being abducted, despite being held captive, despite all the troubles that we are putting her through, only thinks of this man, Rama, her husband. She is not worried. She is confident that he will take her again. How is it possible? As a demon, that is not something she is able to live with, that is possible. So she waits. Rama's turn, Rama does come. And the desire to be proximate with a personality like that becomes so strong in her that when you fast forward to Dwapara age again, its story is exactly as shared by Swami. Come Krishna on the scene. There is, Swami says, there are only two ways a woman, a lady very close to a man. I'm not suggesting this, Swami said this. One is the role of a sister, second is the role of the wife. So in Dwapara Yuga, Swami said, Trijata turned out to be Subhadra. Arjuna marries Subhadra because of the brother-in-law relationship that Krishna has with Arjuna. Subhadra becomes having desired whatever you have desired, Hold on, and I will reward you. Swami said. Another story comes to mind, and all of you know this, Salva. Simple. Story of Jambavan. While these two stories that we've seen have the God has taken different form. The individual had taken a different form and then have been blessed. The story of Jambavan is different. Where the God had taken another avatar, but the Jambavan is exactly the same. At the end of Ramayana, where Rama was fighting Ravana and Jambavan, see from those parts, what a brave and valorous warrior Rama was. And he would desire, one day I should have a fight with him. It would be nice to fight with somebody who fights so well, so beautifully, so well skilled in all of archery and others. That desire is fulfilled by Rama in Dwapara Yuga, when we know the story of Satyajit, Prasena, and the diamond. We also talk about this story in the festival as well, where Krishna goes all the way to the forest for the benefit of those of you who don't know, give it life. So there is this king called Satyajit who is given by sun god to have what is called a Shamantakamani. This jewel is so bright that Krishna takes interest in it, and one day asks, what is this about? And then Satyajit says, this is a Shamantakamani, it's been granted to me, I do not give it to you. In the meanwhile, it goes missing. So the blame falls on Lord Krishna because he asked for the jewel a few days ago. And later on, Krishna goes on an adventure to find out what happened to the jewel so he could be cleaned off the blame. And he finds that his brother, Satyajit's brother, Prasena, wore the jewel on him and went hunting. In the hunt, a lion falls in and takes the diamond, takes the jewel. The bear further takes it from the lion, and then now it is in the possession of the bear, and that is Jambavan. Krishna finds all of these, fights Jambavan, takes the jewel. So the connection Swami has made to this again, that desire of Jambavan to fight Rama in Dwapara, in Treta, is what was fulfilled by Krishna. We can talk of stories, many, making connections of where devotees have desired, persisted. That brings us to a question. If we are able to ask anything and God is able to give it, purely because of persistence, has there been incidents where it was asked, it was granted, but we were not ready? Oftentimes, I think of it, sometimes the shlokas we chant have such deep meaning that we do not necessarily on the intensity of what we are asking for. One of them is the prayer Asatoma Sabdamaya. The last line reads Prutyorma Amrita. Literally meaning, take me from death to immortality. Think of what it means. We're asking it every day. Are we ready? Do we have the capability to handle it? That is what is happening to us. I'm not suggesting stop chanting that prayer, but all I'm saying is we're asking, is this particular individual, this particular episode shared by a Western devotee that has come to Swami, he has taken interest in Swami and the ways. So oftentimes he sees how Swami presents himself, how Swami responds to people's prayer. He's heard of stories where Swami had come individual streams and granted them what they wanted. So he had desire to have the mind of Swami for a few minutes or for a period of time. So he desired, what would it be if I thought like Swami, if my space here operated just like Swami's? He made this request to Swami, Swami, can I have your head for a bit, your thoughts for a bit, space, mind space, just like you. Swami said, so be it. And as he describes later, he was crying in pain as soon as it has been granted to him. He could not bear prayers that were coming to Swami, the people that were wailing in Swami's head, asking for vimukti from the pain that they have had, asking for different desires. The Swami relieved me of it. When Swami takes it back, he says, how are you able to handle this, Swami? I just could not even experience it for a bit. Again, he goes on to say, are we ready for what we are asking for? I'm reminded of one particular incident in my own life, which I want to share and make sure we have time for the rest of the day here as well. On the same day, just like today, November 23rd, in the year 2010, so approximately 15 years ago, or rather exactly 15 years ago, this was the 85th birthday of Swami. As is the tradition in Puttaparthi, every 5th birthday is celebrated in a grand scale in the Hillview Stadium. So if you are seeing videos and photos of Puttaparthi Prashanthanalayam right now, the entire program is being organized in the Hillview Stadium. Is where we have a cricket ground. So clearly it would accommodate more number of devotees than if we were built in the Kulwant Hall where Swami would give darshan every day, where Swami's Sannidhi is. Just for the benefit of anyone who is not gone to Puttaparthi, just so you place it. So Kulwant Hall is where Swami gives darshan every day and where Swami's Sannidhi is. The Hillview Stadium is approximately, give or take, a couple of miles from the Kulwant Hall. So on 85th birthday in the year 2010, it was also, of course, prepared for the program to happen in the Hillview Stadium. A lot of guests were invited. And particularly for myself, that I had an opportunity, a blessing to study in Satisai institutions. And I graduated out of the institution in the year 2007. But this was happening in 2010, as some of our brothers and sisters here will tell you, there are certain privileges that you tend to have if you're a student, which would be slightly lesser if you're an ex-student. At this point, I am only a former student, not a student per se. But every year since 2007, I made it a point to visit Puttaparthi, to see Swami at every possible occasion. And no less a birthday occasion like a birthday, I definitely had made it to Puttaparthi in the years 2008, 2009, now which is we are in 2010. What happened in 2010, particularly for my life, is that I've changed jobs just a few months before November. Now I'm in this new company as a new employee and a couple of months old, and here is Swami's birthday. So I tried to take off from work to be in Puttaparthi. It happened to be a working day. Be in Puttaparthi, and I tried my best to really be there, and it just so happened. So now I had to convince myself to find reasons that why I should not be there or why I could not be there. And as I was looking for reasons, I found that I was not able to take off from work. I thought to myself, I mean, of course it is your birthday, but you're not going to change greatly over the weekend. So if I come to you on Saturday or a Sunday, it's all right. Still be the same God that I know, and I will still be the same devotee. So I'm convincing myself that I don't need to be in Puttaparthi on 23rd where I'm not able to. So I go back to bed, go to bed that night, the 22nd night, fully convinced that I cannot be in Puttaparthi and I will not be in Puttaparthi on 23rd. So I go to bed. At around 3 a.m. in the morning, I was woken up. At least I felt I was woken up. And I did get up, only to check that the time was around 3 a.m. That didn't mean anything. But when I saw the date on my watch, which said November 23rd, that day felt very special. And the place I was seemed not right for the date. So I thought maybe this is a sign that I should be. And I was living in Bangalore at that time. Bangalore, for many of you that know, that don't, it's approximately 100 miles from Puttaparthi, so we're talking of 2 to 3 hours if you drive. So I thought 3 o'clock, if I get ready now, we take an hour, then it should be drive to Puttaparthi and have a darshan of Swami. Nobody waiting for me. I'm not on the agenda in any way. I would be able to get a glimpse of Swami on this momentous occasion. And I'm good to go, come back and be my own self later that evening. So at 3 a.m., I still am debating with myself if it's a good decision to go. Our cousin used to live with us at that time, so I walk up to him. I almost wanted somebody to say it's a bad idea, go back to bed. So far, I'm not getting that indication just so I don't feel guilty. So I go to him. Usually he sleeps very well. I'm sure he's going to say, go back to bed. So I gently tapped him. He sat straight. He asked me, what is it? So I'm thinking of going to Puttaparthi. He looked at his watch. It's approximately 3:30 at this time. I said, why not? Let's go. Give me 30 minutes or so, I'm ready. I said, no, that's not the answer I expected. I thought you were going to say it's a stupid idea, go back to bed. Here he is ready. So I didn't want to say, let's not go. If anyone else tells me I'm ready to sleep, go back to bed, I didn't want to be the one saying it, so I would be guilty forever. So I said, okay, let's go with the motions. I'm sure something will happen before we start. Allow us not to go. So we decided to go. We got into the car. We're out of house approximately by AM or so now at this point. So if we hit the road and have no other obstacle, we should be around 7, maybe 7:30. So thinking maybe the program could start. Even if it starts, we'll get a glimpse of Swami and come back. So we start from home, a mile or two away from home. Our car, I was driving, so I can't blame anything else myself. There is a construction zone a little bit open. Still cannot point finger at anyone. It's clearly cordoned off, asking us not to go. I was thinking of something else. Drive straight through the few hindrances that could then land a little hole that was done to be repaired the next day. I said, maybe this is the sign we should go back. They're not going to Puttaparthi after all, because I'm still unclear in my mind. I must tell my manager at work, or I will tell my wife, who I did not wake up and just left home and came. All of these thoughts are still fresh in my mind, and I have not found answers. And here I've driven into this. The car is not coming out of that little hole that I put it into. We did try and bring it out. It was dark. It was a big hole. So my cousin would be pushing it, and I would try and accelerate out of it. Whenever we did, it just wouldn't come out of the ditch. Until we were about to give up, I see an individual coming by at that hour. I didn't want to ask. It would be dangerous at that time. I quickly got into the car and said, when he comes close, you ask him, both of you push. I will try and accelerate. So he comes close, and I see that in the rear view mirror, they both having a competition. Then they push, I accelerate, jump out of this hole. And they have a conversation again, and then he gets into the car and I'm back. At this time, the ETA is reading around 8:30 or so. So we spent 60 minutes here trying to get this car out of the hole. And all the way to Puttaparthi, I was telling my cousin how great a student's life is in Puttaparthi, how privileged we are, how privileged I am in particular, how great I am, how influential I am, and how I can get things done. So he was listening, he was tolerating for a bit until we came to Puttaparthi. This happens to be the 85th birthday, so it's such a big deal. A lot of VIPs were invited. Forget going to Mandir, our car was stopped all the way near the hospital, the super specialty hospital in Puttaparthi, which is approximately, give or take, 5-6 kilometers from the Mandir, so you're really far off to even walk and go at that hour. So the police stopped our car and said, nothing doing. If you want to go to Mandir, then you should walk and go. There is no cars are being allowed to go at this point in time, right? Because my cousin, this is his time to give it back to me. He said, eventually, you have so many people that you know, and you couldn't even get past the barricades that were put 6-7 miles away. So I negotiated, more than seeing Swami, now I needed to somehow get my car through this barricade, otherwise I have to keep that forever. So I keep explaining who I am. Police wouldn't care until a senior police officer comes and asks what's going on. I explain to him that I'm a student, I need to go, I have a program today, I need to present, tell him every lie I could, book. He couldn't just listen to me, I was making a series of things. So we go to Hillview Stadium. Hillview Stadium is right behind the boys hostel. I was able to park somewhere there. Now to the Hillview Stadium, we are able to see the stage, Shanti Vedika at a distance. And I noticed that Swami has not come yet. Okay, very good. I didn't need my cousin anymore. I only needed him for the drive. He wasn't a student, so he couldn't get any privileges. I said, you're on your own now. See you in the evening when we come back near the car. I get some seating, preferred seating, so I'll go find myself, you find yourself. So we park. I find myself in what is called the pavilion where the former students would sit. I find myself a corner just with a simple desire to see Swami on this day. And many of you know Professor Anil Kumar sir. Many of you will even know him personally. Professor Anil Kumar sir is Swami's translator, was Swami's translator for a long time. You see him in every video possibly that you see Swami in. Very dear devotee of Swami. Great role model for everyone of our in every way possible. I have known him very well as a student while I was there. I did not learn from sir directly. Management field, sir was in botany. But I have known him in Mandir. I have spent a lot of time with him. He saw me at a distance. And he immediately, if you know Professor Anil very well, he has his own style of meeting people, addressing people. Formality is very little that sir follows. He has his own style of greeting people and meeting people. So he sees me at a distance, starts to wave and call out my name. I'm embarrassed. I didn't want to say my name so loudly and everybody at me. So I run quickly towards him and say, sign up. And sir asked me, what are you doing here? Sir, I just came. I found myself in the corner. I just have the shoes. He said, no, you should not be here. You should be up on the stage. And I realized, okay, probably sir is confused. Maybe it's somebody else. He's thinking, I have something to do today on the stage. Then I started to explain, sir, I have on the stage today. I'm a former student. I'm not studying anymore. Probably I'm confused. It's been 3 years since I left. I've just come today to have a darshan. So he almost is not listening to me. Just come with me. You have to be on the stage. He drags me by his hand over a woodshop and so he is running towards the stage and I am running along with him. And suddenly we find ourselves on the backstage of Shanti. The 85th birthday program is about to start. Swami is expected any minute. 4 hours ago, I was not sure if I'm even going to come. I was sleeping. I was looking for every excuse I could find to stay back. Now I am meters away from Swami's throne on the stage and backstage. So far, so good. What am I doing here? As soon as Anil Kumar sir leaves the stage, somebody will drag me and place. I knew that I roll quickly before sit in this farm and thank you so much for bringing me here. I don't want to be embarrassed when somebody throws me out of the stage. So thank you. So I says, no, you need to speak today. You have a great voice. We would love to listen to you. Now I knew sir is totally confused me with somebody else. I started to introduce myself. Sir, my name is this. I've graduated from here. You met me 3 years ago. Grandfather, my father. I know. You need to speak. I know I'm in big trouble. Nobody would tell sir anything, but when I go up on the stage or do anything to what sir is expecting me to do, I won't think there are a few students who are really the people who are designed to speak on the day of, introduce the program, introduce the speakers, some master of ceremony. There are a couple of students reading their scripts, getting ready in the back. And I know all of them because I spent time with my juniors at that time. When I studied, sir introduced me to them, saying, you know who he is? I know who he is. And then sir says, he needs to speak to them. So they are confused. Then they all nodded. What would they tell Professor Ali Kumar? Please. And I tell them, please don't report me to anyone. I will be here. You guys do your thing. Just ignore me. I've never come. Ali Kumar sir never gave you any instructions. I'm standing there. One of them said, no, brother, you need to say something. Because I said, okay, I will see what I have to do. But you do exactly as planned. Let me just be around. And as we were still conversing, a message comes that Swami is at the primary school gate. So again, if you stand on Shantivedika, the stage, primary school gate, say half a mile away. So you can see very clearly that that is the gate that will open and Swami's chariot will come up. That's the plan. So as soon as you see Swami, whatever needs to be said has to be said, whatever music has to play, that's the indication that program is begun because that's what Swami has on the stage, onto the scene. And that seemed to have happened all of a sudden because there was an instruction given to the VIPs who were sitting in the dugout front, so nobody was on the stage until then. For some of them to come up and wait on the sidelines. So as soon as Swami comes, they also come and take the stage. There was a little bit of confusion as to who is moving in, who is talking to who. And in the meanwhile, I still to date don't know how it happened, if I volunteered or if I was pushed. I suddenly find myself in front of the podium like this, into the mic. Swami was right there at the gate. I'm able to see the chariot coming. And those who are sitting in the front don't necessarily know where am I or what am I supposed to do. But for that, I presented myself in front of the mic. I have to say something at this point. It's embarrassing for me not to go. So I own the stage now. I said, Swami, up to you. Let me finish this and then we'll need to take my head off. That I into the mic said as loudly as I could, Om Shri Sai Ram. For the first time, I heard myself in this huge lineup of speakers all around. My own voice reverberating was a little bit scary. Now I have to do something else. So far, so good. Then I'm reminded of a poem that my father taught me. Then I go into the mic, say, Shriyuta Murti Vatsalata Chindeli Sundara Satyakirti, Apyayita Rupudalchana Krupavara Sagara Chakravarti, Sushreya Mugurchi Bodhalu Vachinchi Sukoki Lagana Murti, Shri Satya Saisha, Ni Charana Saras Ajayinchana. As I complete this, thunders of applause in the stadium, only for me to quickly realize it was not for me. That was the first time Swami raised both his hands from the chariot as Swami was coming in, but I took it in my stride. Until now, it sounded good. Now I have to say more because I don't see anyone else taking over. I'm still at the mic. Because I took a pause, they increased the background music a little bit more. I thought that would be an issue to slowly leave the podium before anything more advancing happens. And as I think of that, I already find those who are supposed to be speaking are actually waiting behind me to leave the mic so they could take over. I find myself a corner behind Swami's stage, behind Swami's throne. Massive throne. If you look at the pictures of 85th birthday, Swami was wearing a white silk robe that day. I find myself behind Swami's throne throughout the program. At the end of the program, Swami would come out. I wasn't able to see Swami throughout, but at the end of the program, Swami comes around. I have Swami's father starts. He raised his hand, and Swami retired. I sat there trying to reflect on how quickly things happen and what really happened. 4 or 5 hours ago, I was absolutely deep slumber, had no idea of coming, was looking for every excuse possible that there is not to be there. And bestowed with the blessing to speak, to invite Bhagavan on the 85th birthday. Really think of it. That is also the last birthday of Swami in his physical form. As I was thinking about what just happened to me, I'm reminded of the year that I joined Kushantralayam as a student, 1998, approximately 27 years to today. This was the year I joined as a student. Until then, I knew Swami as God, as somebody who you can pray to, as somebody who would be like a picture in your home that mom and dad have vacation days. They will take all of us to Puttaparthi and you get to see him. If you're lucky, you get to give a letter. If you find your way, maybe Father must come. That was my experience with Swami until then, and now I am a student. I get to see Swami twice a day. I see Swami more closely. I see Swami interacting with many senior devotees, many students, many others who are far and wide. I started to gain interest more than in Swami, in myself, getting interest. Because those boys, those devotees seem very popular. If Swami is talking to you every day, every darshan, imagine the ego that you have, a little bit of pride that you would walk with, and I see students, devotees reluctant. So I started to put Swami in a pattern. Okay, if this is how Swami conducts himself, I will try and be that. I am one of those devotees that Swami has to speak. So I have to make a list. who is Swami talking? The first on my list was Bhajan boys. Almost Swami had very little choice not to talk to them, because if you ever see, just you, if you ever see how Swami sits during a bhajan session, please go back and look at those videos. Fortune that is bestowed upon those boys, those students, unmatchable. As though there is no place for Swami and them to sit comfortably. They had to pick the tabla so Swami could walk and sit. And as soon as Swami goes past the tabla, they would put it back. So even if Swami wanted to escape in the middle of a bhajan, he could not without taking permission of 4 or 5 people. They would all literally sit on Swami, just literally not doing that. The occasions where you would be touching Swami's feet throughout, because that's sit. So I wrote this down, bhajan boys it is. To call bhajan boys one thing, to sing bhajans are totally right in my hand, and quickly realized that not actually. So bhajan boys I had to strike off. Then there were trust members that Swami was spending too much time with. I could not be that. There were Sevadal whom Swami would spend a lot of time with. It seems too difficult to do Seva all day, all night, so I couldn't do that. So whatever I found that Swami was spending time with, I had no chance of getting impressing Swami with that particular act. Just when I was about to give up on my search, I found one set of people that I felt I could easily be or easily imitate, which are those scholarly pundits who are sitting very close to Swami, the seniors who would write books, who would write poems, narrate stories to Swami. Well, that job description is not defined very well. Everything else has a clear definition. Sevadal means you need to do seva. Bhajan boys, you need to sing bhajans. Scholar means what? Everybody is a scholar. I'm a scholar. You're a scholar. But so that is not defined. Okay, this ambiguity is good for me. Somehow make my way. And my grandfather, my paternal grandfather, has been blessed to be with Swami, has worked with Swami very close quarters, has written many books on Swami, has written many books. The best of his writings is today turned out to be the Satyasai Satcharitra, Tapovanam, read by him, guided by Swami. So inspired by him, I thought he has written hundreds of poems. Why not pick one of them and make my own changes and call it my own? And then now be ready to present it to Swami at some time. So I take a poem. I realize that there is so much grammar in it that I shouldn't mess with. There are some words you can change that still could hold water with respect to the meaning and the intent. So I did something like that. One poem, told myself so many times that this is my poem, so it became my poem now. And it's only my grandfather's, so they wouldn't accept people after me as mine and not his. So this is my resolve now that, okay, I have this poem. You gave a promise to me or to everyone that if you really persist with a particular desire, you want that. And here I am. I would write this poem on a piece of paper. I wouldn't have anything to start off in my letter, anything to end it off with. All I would have is written. This poem written on a piece of paper. That is my letter to Swami. I've held on to that letter for nearly a month. I would point it to Swami, I would present it to Swami, I would shove it into him. He has taken every letter around me, but not that. Again and again, there were days my letter was so soiled because every day I would just hold it and show it to him. That people had at least write a different letter, whatever be the inspiration. Like a new paper, the same poem. Until one day, Swami asked, what is Every day you seem to carry this. What is this? That was my chance, which is I've been waiting for 1.5 years or so. I go up on my knees. I go as close as possible to Swami where I didn't want anyone else to hear my master plan. So Swami is wait. Ah, did you? Okay, yes, Swami. But I believed for the last 18 months or so that I have written it. Unless Swami really goes too deep into the questioning how they survived that. Because I did write a sentence in it, or I had a word in it. Yes, Swami. Then he takes it. I'm not satisfied because that means he gave me no credits more than just talking to me and taking the letter. I want it to be known to everyone that I have written this letter that Swami has sent to me. And I would almost go in Swami's path as Swami was walking. What else? You can't count it. What else do you want? So Swami, I want to chant it in front of you. Swami said, okay. I won't let it go. Remember? He said, so he gave you the permission to pester him. Because he said, if you pester out of disgust, I mean, I don't have any self-respect at this point, Swami. Out of disgust, you give it a problem. He said, Swami, I want to chant it in front of you. Okay. No, Swami, I want to chant it. Tell me, man. Today we have to decide on a date, time, when, how, and then you are going to hear others. Darshan. So we have to go forward. He has to let go of me. I would go. Young boy didn't know much manners, didn't know what to do. I was not worried about consequences later. Now is the moment. All I've understood in this particular poem and the meaning of it in my own way, my own style. This is Swami we have. Swami said, ఇప్పుడు కాదు ఒక పెద్ద స్టేజ్ లో చెప్తున్నారు. Not now, on a big stage, I will let you hear. I will let you chant this. Okay? That seemed like a promise enough. And I immediately, just so more people know about it, people asked me, what did he say? I told them that entire story. You see, my scholarly mind, I wrote a poem, I showed it to Swami, I asked him to give me an opportunity. He said, a big stage. So I tell more and more people. So more people are witness. Should we ever have to have this dialogue, Swami and me again? Swami is either. Years have passed. I graduated from higher secondary school. I went to Vrindavan. I came back to Puttaparthi to do my master's. Many things happened in my life in Puttaparthi, Swami's mission. I completely forgot about this promise Swami made. And now, brothers and sisters, on November 23rd, 2010, when I was woken up from deep sleep, to be put in our car, when it fell in the hole, for somebody to come and push it out of the car, the police to be convinced of my story and allow me to come, and for Professor Anil Kumar to bring me up on stage, and out of agenda, out of plan, put me up on the stage, and the poem I chant on that day, the exact poem I showed Swami 17 years prior. జీవితమూర్తి వత్సల చిందడి సుందర కీర్తి ఆప్యాయత రూపుదాల్చిన కృపావర సాగర చక్రవర్తి సుశ్రేయము గూర్చి బోధలు వచించు కోకిల గానమూర్తి శ్రీ సత్యసాయిష నీ చరణ సారసములు భజించదను. How small of a speck I am in the mission of Swami, in the purpose of which Swami has come. How many promises, how many people, how many lives, how many desires Swami had a plan for every one of them. I did not ask for it. I did not persist for too long. For years, I have forgotten and moved on. On that day, when Swami raised his hand behind the throne as he was leaving and allowed me to take part in his car, that was a confirmation of a promise Swami made many years ago. Just reflect upon the blessings that we have all been granted to be part of an organization that is created by Him. That if we are able to call ourselves Sai devotees, that in itself a responsibility that we bear, that automatically makes us His brand ambassadors. What we say, what we do, how we conduct ourselves, we become the role models of Swami's expectation. For such a Swami, I want to make sure you stay on track with it. And for such a Swami, I pray on all of our behalf. Let's all together collectively pray that Swami stays with us. Swami gives us the opportunity to stay with Him, stick with Him forever. All our desires will fulfill and we be ready for we ask what we ask for, because we know for sure He is waiting to grant it for us. Just come the right time. Those thoughts conclude my talk today. Thank you so much for listening. Jai Sai Ram.